just want to start off with saying happy duck season 2022, 2023 for some of you. Today we're going to be looking at the north property. This is essentially the teal hole and where it starts it all for the season right here. You can see out in front of us, we're going to walk down this ditch that I put in this year. And this ditch will be for the water level to flow into the secondary ditch after we fill the hole. So this whole hole was tilled, and as soon as the water level drops, we continue to throw millet into the bottom. So the whole thing is sowed with Japanese millet. You can see it starting to come up really good here. Off to the left or right, you have this nice huge wheat field. In Wisconsin, wheat will hold birds all year long, and it's really the first start to get them coming to your area. And right here we'll have some of the only water. It continues to be a dry spell. As you see, we're blowing dry, but we'll pump this whole thing and get this hole filled by September 1st. Usually 2 weeks before, so the middle of August, we work on having it filled to the top. The water will slowly start filling the ditch and flow down here to the secondary hole. The secondary hole will be for Maine duck season. It'll be planted with a mixture of duck candy, which I really like because it has the mixture of smaller millets and larger, taller millets, which are good for ducks. So this week here, we're gonna come down in here. First, we have to go around the rocks there in the bottom and make sure to cut some holes so that we don't hit them with the tractor. Then we come up and we'll till all this under, because by the time the water level comes up, it'll be about to the top of this berm right here. So what we do is we fill it to the top of the berm. We'll have food all out in this flat as well. And if we get substantial rains, the pumping combined with the rains will push it up onto the flat, where there'll be about an inch or two of water. Within 2 weeks, most of that will fall down, and it'll be a nice spot for ducks to feed. You can see it gets pretty deep, and this will all be filled with water come October 1st. It'll be a mixture of duck candy, Japanese millet, you name it. They like it. This is one of the best holes on the property. Holds birds all year long. Big groups of mallards late season. We'll put the ice eaters into this lower ditch here, and we'll pump them all out into the thin water, so it makes one large hole where they can all walk around. It's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna get the drone up so that you can see a little bit of an aerial view and see what the North Sloughs look like from the sky. Julep, 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 to the best hole on the property, the woods hole. It is about 10 acres of woods with a 2-acre hole in the center of it that is exclusively smartweed recruitment millet from previous years. And then we're going to cut a little section out of it that's weeds, and this year we're going to plant it with a mixture of duck candy, which is a mixture of millets, but as I stated previously, it gets nice and tall, so it's a really good blocker. And I'll explain that, what I mean, when we get over into the hole. So this is where dreams are really made. Last year, at least 6 under 10-minute limits for 4 people in here. The birds just come in here by the hundreds. It's truly something where if you put your mind and money where you want your duck hunting to be, it can be quite spectacular, even an area not known for duck hunting. So I would say 3 years ago, I came in here and I threw about $400 worth of smartweed seeds out on the red type. And as you can see now, 3 or 4 years later, pure stand of it. About 80% of it is all smartweed. All this grass coming up is all millet, Japanese, various types of duck candy. And we've just planted it so thick for the last 5 or 6 years that there's plenty left over for recruitment the next year. And the ducks stop using our property around mid-November, so a lot gets unused. But here we go, we're getting into the center of the hole, and it's taken about 3 or 4 years to get the hydrology and the depth of this spot right. So if you look back into this corner, you can't see it now, but there's a berm and a dike that has a big pipe in it. That pipe is sealed. It keeps the water out of here in high water years, because from the marsh right over there where we just viewed the 2 other ponds, that will flow around this tree thing, this tree berm here, and it's a quite tall berm, and will flow around the corner and come into here. It'll get too deep, it'll wash the crops away, so we put that berm in to control the water. And in low water years like the last few years, we just run a big pipe from the high capacity well that's over by the fishing pond that we just drove by, and we pump it over to here, and those back 2 ponds we have another pipe that we will run to those 2. So you can come in here and you can see this whole back horseshoe is all smartweed. Look how thick it is up in here. It is pure smartweed. Ducks love it. If anyone knows about it, when the ducks find the smartweed, you know you're in for a really good hunt. But we have this ragweed. So what we'll do with the ragweed is we're gonna come in here. My father is actually putting the tire on the tractor right now, and we're gonna mow the outside edge of it where it gets thick with ragweed to smartweed. So we'll come in around here, come back up in here, and make a big bowl and cut out all the ragweed and mostly weeds. Also what we're gonna do is that edge, that last edge, because it's just far enough on that last edge where all the canary grass is coming up that it's a little bit too far to shoot. We really like to just kill them fast, quick. As I said, a whole bunch of 10-minute limit type deals in here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that strip out as well, and we're gonna plant the duck candy, which will get some of the stuff in the duck candy will get a good 6 foot tall. That will help push the ducks in. And the way we do our decoys in this is we literally fill up every spot around here besides this center hole. And you can see the undulation where I have it. This is the first spot that fills. We pump down here. You can see a slight ledge right here, up here. And it'll get pumped. It'll go down to that ledge. It'll flow down to this lower basin. And the first pumping for the first part of October, we only get it up to this first berm or whatever. All our holes are multiple berm holes, which means you can fill them up a section at a time, so you can save some food for dry areas. The blind here is just filled in with a whole bunch of fallen trees. It's an awesome blind, full stand up. We'll cook in there and do all sorts of jazz. Bring a few heaters in. It's always heated. I don't mess around with no heat hunting or whatever. I like to be comfortable. So we'll come in here and I'll get it all on drone and we'll do a little time-lapse sort of video, and we'll show us planting in this hole. And the bottom of this hole will be the Japanese millet with no fertilizer. The no fertilizer is going to keep it low, because once you plant it, you can't disturb it. That is part of the federal regulations of planting for waterfowl. So that section, you won't be able to do anything to once it's planted. But if we were to leave it as is, you could come in here, mow out sections and stuff, because it's just all natural recruitment. But what we'll do is we'll just keep that section low with the Japanese millet with no fertilizer. We'll let everything else, the natural recruitment millet that's coming in with the smartweed on the majority, we'll just allow that to come in naturally. And it's going to be an amazing hunt again in here this year. As I said, when they don't have water around, they come off the rivers and lakes and they find this spot within 1 week of starting to put water on it. And we usually start pumping 2 to 3 weeks before we're going to shoot a duck out of it. Which means by the time duck hunting season rolls around, big ducks, there should be about 600 to 700 ducks using this hole. And man, is it something spectacular. In the years past, I haven't had the cameras to be able to capture that low light footage, but hopefully this year we get some awesome footage with this GoPro 10, and some buddies coming with their high-end cameras and trying to shoot here. So I'll get the drone up and we'll look at what's going on. So we just pulled back up to the North Slough with the tractor. Got a brush hog on the back. We're just gonna clear out the whole section that we're gonna plant with millet here. And I'm gonna get the drone up so you can get a nice little aerial of what we're doing, and yeah, we'll just go from there. the spot for a big duck opener. I'll get the drone back up once we start tilling it under, but just wanted to get you a shot before we head over to the woods. All right, looks really nice. I kept a couple patches up there where there's nice sedges coming in. Anything's better than canary grass. So we'll head on over to the woods and we'll get that little section mowed out that we were talking about, and then we'll get to tilling the 2 spots under. So we just got done mowing the woods. Figure I'd just take you out and show you what I did. So you can see the big teardrop right there, where it was all ragweed. We'll be cutting that and trimming it, planting it with millet, Japanese millet with no fertilizer. Then we come around and you can see it comes all the way around the edge. That was all ragweed. And then we come back in here where the dike is, right back there. You can see the thick wall, and that's where the dike is. And we'll plant all this with duck candy. It's a little bit taller, so it'll make a nice wall for the ducks to land. And then anything that's left out there that's tall is the smartweed and recruitment millet from previous years that are coming up. So it's fixing to be awesome. We'll get back at it and put up some drone footage of tilling it, and then I'll probably catch you after we're done tilling it and about to throw seed down. And what I look for weather-wise when we're about to throw seed, you really want the millet and grasses to have a rain right after you throw it. They do amazing that way, and I think 4th of July it's looking like it might. So you can see that we finished planting, tilling, disking. First we till it all to loosen up the grass, then we run through the disc, and then we plant, and then we either smush it down with the tires or do another disking if the grass is pretty thick. I skipped forward to this step because, oh my gosh, it was so dusty. Just teeth full of dust right now and black boogers, you know. So we got it all done, and we also had to rush because we're about to get 1.5 inches of rain, and it's the only rain in the foreseeable future here. With the millet and grasses, if you get it wet, they do a great job of sprouting. So we just worked our ass off, and we got it all up here. I'll throw the drone in the air on the north side hole here, and I'll throw the drone in the air in the woods as well. We'll just get the drone up here so you can take a look at sort of what's done. This hole here on the north side is all duck candy from Pheasants Forever. So we just pulled up back to the woods on the south side of the property. You can see pretty easily what we did here once we walk out. There's a big hole that was all ragweed, and we turned that into Japanese millet. And then along the edge, you can see out there, wraps all the way around, back in here, around the corner, and right through here. That is all duck candy that has the sorghum in it that gets nice and tall. It'll help keep all the birds landing right out in front. That section was not fertilized with the Japanese millet, and we didn't fertilize that because we would like it to get nice and low so that the ducks will still like to land in there. I'll get the drone up, take a quick shot, and that will wrap up this video of getting ready for duck season #1. I'll post another video here in a few weeks, and we'll go over some gear selection that I like to use, and we'll check up on these fields and see how the millet and other plants are growing. So I'll talk to you soon.